Alright guys, here's the first tutorial for the sub-focus stab, the one you did on falling down. And I haven't quite figured out how to record my screen properly. I'm just using QuickTime, so I don't think you can really hear it that well. You can hear me, but this kind of sounds not that great. Yeah, but that's the sound, if you guys can hear it. And I think on Reddit I said that I would do the tutorial just in massive, but then I was like, nope, that doesn't sound right. And so I went back and I did use massive, but I didn't just use massive the way I said I would. I actually had to do some chords, these ones here. Those are the chords, if you guys want to write that down or copy it. Just a really basic chord. And then here is what I have in massive. I'm not going to do it like most guys do, like build the sound, because it is very, very simple. It's just a saw, no changing of the pitch. Just put it all the way to filter 1. Filter 1 is low pass 4. Cut off pretty much to the left, like everything's going to be flat there. And if you want the exact value, whoops. If you want the exact value, I'll let you see it in this. There's the exact value right there, 0.20 on Ableton. If you guys are using something else, it might be different. Might be like a 127 value, but this is what it is on Ableton, 0.20. Resonance all the way down, just put this thingy all the way up, and then I have the classic tube, dry wet, about 2 o'clock, 1:30. Sorry for the time values too, I know they're kind of shitty to work with. Drive about there, and again, you guys can just copy these if you want. Delay up just a tiny bit, actually might bring that down because it was quite a lot when I played that back. Damping 3 o'clock, feedback about 1. Then you want it on 8ths and 3/8 for the stereo delay. Then, oh yeah, amp, envelope 4 for the amp, just bring the level all the way up, tack all the way down. EQ, put a bit of high shelf on it and leave the low shelf and leave the boosted frequencies the same, but boosting this high just gives it a bit of bite in that stab. And then no inserts, and then here's where the stab happens. Envelope 1, so again, bring the attack all the way down. Decay is going to be kind of like just pointing right to the corner there. And this one I found was kind of a bit sensitive too. You kind of got a different sound if it wasn't in the right place. And that goes the same with where you put the envelope on the filter. The reason I had the filter at 0.20 before was because if it was all the way down, it just made it like really almost like too sharp, and it didn't really get like a low end. It cut that low end off. So if it only filters down to there, you get like a little low end bit coming through. So that's why that's there. And then that is pretty much it for mass. Oh, the noise. I put a bit of bright noise on it, not too much. Put the amp pointing to the A. And you can do this to taste, but it just gives it a bit of bite when it closes that filter. So that's pretty much it for massive. Really simple. One oscillator, saw, one filter. I'll just leave that there for you guys to copy for a second. Oh yeah, and the voicing, just one, and polyphonic, just because. Just ignore this, not even on, doesn't do anything. But if you have it on like 4 or 8 or 3 or anything, it just sounds different. I don't know. I don't particularly like the voicings of software synthesizers. They just seem a bit off. So if you want to make it so it's like more voices, you can just copy and paste your whole track and maybe bus it. I think that would sound better. Okay, so the sound before this is the full finish sound. That's the full finish sound, and I have all these effects on for that. Let's just turn them off. That's with it off, with all the effects off. And that's it with it on again. Way more full. Basically I need, this is Xfer's dimension expander. It is like one of the most simple, useful VSTs I have, just because in Massive, if you don't want to take up one of these spots with a dimension expander, you can have this one. And Steve Duda is the Xfer one. It's free, and it's modeled after Massive's dimension expander. So it gives you pretty much exactly the same effect, except I think on his sizing is like it goes bigger, like his size and stuff. So like the delay is longer on his if you crank the size all the way up, and that if you do that, it can almost give it like a full kind of delay, but you don't want that. So just keep it small. It's like a tiny bit there. Turn the dry wet up about 2/3 or 1/3. Sorry. Yeah, so get that VST or something similar. This is just Ableton Saturator. I just have it at an 80% dry wet and 5 decibels on the drive analog clip. So it's not distorting it like crazy, it's just kind of making it sound like it's going through like a vintage amp kind of thing. And that kind of boosts the volumes too and gives the low end a bit more crunch. Doesn't really do too much for the highs. Just kind of boosts that volume up. And then the reverb, I'll let you guys copy this kind of, because I'm not a huge expert on reverbs. But that's what I have. I filtered out this kind of frequency because that's all I wanted coming through, just that kind of mid-high part in the stab. I don't want to get any reflections off the low end, so I have that mid section kind of scooped out. Put the low cut on. I didn't really touch these. Size way down. Delay time down a bit. I think I left those dry wet to 15. Turn the diffusion down a bit and the reflect up a bit, because you want it to work with the delay a bit more, so you don't want like a huge diffusion thing, which is almost like a delay itself. You want that a bit quieter, and you want the reflections, like what you get like bouncing off like what would be a wall or something. You want that to come through a bit more. And then I just threw a compressor on it. Peak, 0 attack, low release. -13. Actually, that's a bit too much. Let's put it like -11. Feed forward 1 model. Just because that's the best model Ableton has for these, I think. And ratio about 2. Let's put that down a bit. I think I was messing around with this a bit last time, so I have those a bit different. But yeah, let's put it maybe like just under 2. Anything like that. That probably should sound good. I know the sound actually sounds kind of shitty, probably coming from the recording, so I'm sorry I haven't worked it out on how to record the screen properly. But if you guys play this, it should sound pretty damn close to the recording on Subfocus's track. And there you have it. And I'll let you copy these chords again if you didn't get them at the beginning, or you can rewind it or whatever. But this is really what makes the stab sound. It's not just 2 octaves spread apart or anything like that. It's the difference between these 2 notes here that gives you that like fifth. And then that's just for a bit of low end. Yeah, I'm split up. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys find the tutorial useful. All right, bye.